Yo, what is up, world? Meta Beeps here. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. It is really good to see you guys. In this week's vlog, I'm going to be sharing with you some behind the scenes of a recent shoot that I was on. And I want to talk to you about a concept that I have really been trying to practice and focus on recently since I have graduated and projects are much smaller in terms of budget. And that concept or phrase is broad strokes. So before we get into it, roll the intro and I'll see you soon. All right, so like I said, projects, now that I've graduated, are much smaller in terms of budget, which realistically, all of the projects that I work on are like smaller. So I'm here and I'm in Los Angeles and I'm location scouting. We were able to get a store for this particular shoot. And I'm just here filming some of the store, getting an idea of what I want to do with my lighting and how I want it to be as effective as I possibly can, knowing that the crew that I have is incredibly small. It's just me and one of my friends, Tristan, who you've seen on the vlogs before, but he's the first AC/grip, and he's been helping me out on this particular project for a really long time. So thank you for that, Tristan, and also my director, Anna. So again, we're at this really small location. I only have 3 lights, I think, that I'm going to be able to use in this really small space. So I want to do my best to maximize the look of what I'm going for, knowing that I am very short-handed. So the concept of broad strokes. Now, again, this is something that I'm really trying to practice and get really good at because, again, I don't have all of the equipment and the tools and the time necessary to approach these scenes how I want them to, how I want them to look, how I want them to feel. So essentially, broad strokes to me just means that with what I have, as little as I have, I'm going to try to do the same exact ideas and concepts with if I had a bigger budget, more time, and more crew to help me out. So again, the concept is the same exact approach that I would have if I had more equipment, more crew, more time, but I'm really just scaling this back at its most basic form. So I'm going to be putting the lights where I would normally have them if I had better lights, bigger lights, and more people, more equipment. So what that means is the image that I'm making is not exactly how I want it to look in terms of it's not polished, it's not finished where I would like it to be, but the lighting is coming from the same exact direction. It may not be the quality that I'm looking for, but it is in that same direction that it would be if I had more equipment. So we're shooting with my Blackmagic Pocket 6K, and I only am using the Aperture Amaran 200X to be my key light, and I'm bouncing into a really big soft bounce board, and then also into the ceiling as well. In this particular location, I turned off all of the lights that were in front of the talent so that I could try to have as much light coming from behind the talent as possible. So the idea of the framework I'm always trying to implore, which really just means I'm having the light come from behind the talent and then trying to wrap it just so much so that I leave a shadow, which is where the camera is going to be pointing. So I'm always shooting into the shadow is really what I'm trying to say. So when you shoot into the shadow, you get more shape, you get more depth, more contrast. And to me, it's just a really awesome looking image. And that's what I've really been trying to study and do my best at replicating every single time I turn on the camera. Again, it's that idea of broad strokes, not having that right equipment, the proper time, the proper crew. I can still do the concepts that I want to on a much smaller level so that when I am able to upgrade to bigger budget crew, more time, more equipment, those concepts are still the same, but at that point I'll just be refining the light values of my key light and also the ambient light within the scene. And here at our second location, we're really trying to recreate what it would look like at night. So I'm using a hard slash of light on her talent's body and then trying to make it soft on her face. And again, I'm taking that same approach of having broad strokes because I don't have the equipment, the time, or the crew to get it exactly how I want it. I know that with what I have, I can do the best I can to implement that same concept, but on a much smaller scale. So I hope all of this made some sort of sense, and I hope you enjoyed the frames that I'm able to share with you. And what is your approach to having or working with a really small budget? How do you approach lighting? How do you approach getting crew? How do you approach communicating with your director? I'm really interested to hear what is your take on working in a much smaller budget frame, much smaller time frame. How do you make the best out of the images yourself? All right, so I hope you enjoyed this week's vlog. If you did, you know what to do. Go ahead and do a super jump on that like button down below, and also get subscribed to the YouTube channel because yes, every single Wednesday, just like today, is a brand new vlog. I'm Matty Beebs, the cinematographer / student, and I will see you all in 7 days. Bye, Don.